Hello, everybody.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome.
Slide in a little bit more, Kim.
Oh, all
There
righty.
you
I'm going to sit on your lap in a
Yeah,
minute.
sure. Come on, just sit on my lap.
Oh, my God.
go. Hey,
Yeah, this IG frame, I tell you, gives us the fucks. We have to be very close. Not that I don't love you guys.
Right.
You're awfully warm, though.
Am I? Okay.
she hot.
Sizzle, sizzle. All right, guys. We are
Welcome
talking
back.
about
Yeah.
jealousy in friendships and relationships.
Wow.
That is a doozy.
So let me just say, jealousy and envy are different. Envy is more malicious longing for something that someone has, as opposed to jealousy feeling threatened. And I knew there was a difference, but I had to honestly look it up just to make sure that there was a clear difference, because people often use the words interchangeably and they're not. They're or synonymously, and they're not the same. But jealousy, I think, is a normal human emotion. I think we've all felt it. We've all experienced it, had it directed toward us. But it does not feel good when it's somebody that you want to be connected to, like a friendship or a family member, or someone that you're dating, a lover or something, and you feel like there's a sense of jealousy, like a rivalry that they have with you. That is not a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to go back to jealousy and envy because I always defined it as, jealous. I wish that it were me.
Jealous, okay.
And then envy, I always looked at it. I hate that it's you. So that was, there was a delineation there for me. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's always how I looked at it.
Yeah, not that I just want this for me, but I don't want you to have it, and I want what's yours.
Yeah.
Not that I want my own just like yours, I want yours.
Yeah.
So envy, according to the definition, envy is a painful feeling of wanting what someone else has, like you said, like attributes or possessions. If you're jealous, you feel threatened, protective, or fearful of losing one's position or situation to someone else.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we have a very clear understanding.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
And so we're talking about jealousy tonight.
yeah, I think that, and you had mentioned like friendship that you really want. You can recognize jealousy sometimes because it feels more like a frenemy. You know what I mean? That they aren't necessarily rooting for you always, like you feel like a friend should.
Yeah.
Or you get kind of like the underhanded compliments that's wrapped in a dig.
I'm glad your little business is doing well.
That's a nice little house.
It's a nice little
Your little business. Yeah. And when a while back I had a business on the beach, and my business partner and I, we would listen to people sling the shade. How's your little hot dog stand? How's your little business? And we would just be like, listen to this bitch.
It's great.
Yeah. So it can be wrapped in a smile, a pleasantry, like, hey girl, how's your little business? That type of thing.
Exactly.
So you just never know how people are really feeling. You have to listen to what people are saying.
And what they don't say.
And choose your friends wisely.
And what they don't
I'll make
say.
a confession. It's usually when I'm dating someone, and that person usually will point it out to me when someone is doing it to me. Because a lot of times
Because you don't catch it.
I don't know if I'm aloof or something else, or just not, just not. I'm not. I'm not
In
not
that
processing
moment.
it. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not processing it. But it's usually when I have a girlfriend, and she's like, "Man, dude, be kind of shady," or she kind of, she wasn't really like feeling you like that, and I'm like,
Women pick up on that. I think women are just naturally more perceptive. And we catch shade more. I think it's because women fight with words more so than men. You guys fight differently. We fight with words. We will undercut and all that. So we listen to what people are saying. So yeah, I can see how your girlfriend would pick up on that.
And I mean, it wasn't just one girlfriend. I mean, over time, and I didn't have all these girlfriends at the same time. Let me point that out. But it was different girlfriends at different times that were like, you know, man, that was something's not right there, or that, you know, that don't add up, or
But here's the alarming part: different girlfriends at different times, but all of these are situations where there was literally some shade thrown. So you too have a handful of frenemies, you know, people that you think that are cheerleaders, but they're not.
I look at that part of it though as a cost of doing business. You know, if you go through enough people, and I certainly know enough, not everybody is going to be on your team.
Yeah.
Darn right.
And you know, it hurts when you find out that somebody that's in your circle is
Is
not
not in
really
your
in your circle.
Not in your
You're not in
corner.
your corner.
Yeah.
But you know, it has been different people at different times and for different stuff.
I can give you some real life examples. So, you know, I've been training for 25 years. It'll be 25 years in January. And through all of this time, I can tell you that every other client has the same scenario. They lose weight. People that are close to them that would normally say, "Oh my God, you look fantastic. What are you doing?" You know, act like they haven't lost a pound.
They don't even acknowledge it.
Nope. They could have gone down 6 dress sizes. Won't say a word about it. And it's because they feel bad about themselves. So they can't lend
Yeah.
that compliment to somebody
I've been
else.
there too. Yeah.
Which is horrible when it's someone that you love, that you support, that you cheerlead for, that you are 10 toes down at everything, like
and they're not
And they
acknowledging
can't-
your win.
your
Your
transformation.
health journey. Yeah.
Right. You know, something that you get up every day and you put forth the energy, something that you're paying for. So you're sacrificing something that you want and you need. You may have a health challenge. They don't know. But they can't be there for you. You know?
It's terrible.
That is not
Been
a
there.
friend, and that is somebody who is jealous of you if they can't show that kind of support.
But the blessing of that is providence. You know, I want you to let me know that you're not on my team. So that way I don't expect you to be there.
Right.
And I don't have to, you know, defriend you.
Good
or-
point, though. But I know. I got you.
Now I know.
That's right.
And I don't have to, because I mean, you know, and I think that you two are like so good at this. Like you all love hard in terms of your friends. You all will do anything for a friend, and you all are there. And so it's you know, when you don't have to do those things when you notice somebody is not in your corner. You notice somebody is not on your team. You know, and I mean, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be this big thing where you know you put this whole proclamation on Facebook. Today this a friend. You know, nah, we good.
Well, the biggest part in that sentence is that neither one of us use that word loosely.
Use what word?
Friends.
Oh, sure don't.
We don't use it loosely. That's something that is earned, and it has to be maintained. It's just not a given, and it doesn't, you know, nurture itself. You got to pour into me like I'm pouring into you, and we're going to grow together.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, something is going to dwindle away and die. It's going to be smaller. It's not going to be as fruitful. And, you know, it's hurtful when those things end.
Right.
We've been there.
Right.
And I don't necessarily know if it's from jealousy. I don't know. But whatever it is, it wasn't from a good, wholesome place. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
And it certainly wasn't leading to anything.
It wasn't. It wasn't going to last for the next, 30 years. It wasn't going to do that. So when people do show you who they are, believe them. You're right.
Absolutely. What about being in a relationship with someone, like a romantic relationship, and then you feel a sense of rivalry, like this person is competing with you, like there's a sense of jealousy. You're like, this person cares about you, but they're competing with you, whether it's athletically or monetarily or financially or whatever, or like, I want to see who's the most popular. It's I've been there too. Like, this is ridiculous.
I've never
Have you
had
had
that.
that? Have you ever had that before?
Oh
I have
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's I've seen it where one person was particularly famous and the other person was not as famous. And it was kind of they would always create a scene to make it about them. So that they felt like that they were on a level playing field with this person. And it was always kind of just sick almost to me because it was like, let him have his moment, let him do his thing.
Right.
And I mean, and then it was to a situation where I would be around sometimes and she had sort of a fainting spell. And I was like, did she really faint or is she trying
to get attention?
Right, is she trying to get best
serious?
dramatic performance in a restaurant?
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I mean that was that was the thought that ran through my head, and I wanted to be empathetic if I could, but I wasn't allowed to feel that because I'm like, her ass faking. That ain't real.
That's terrible.
That ain't real.
Get down and press.
Turn purple or something. Come on now.
The closest thing that I've ever experienced to what you suggested here was a person who I was dating. And I think all the things that attracted, him to me,
Yeah.
all the things that he liked about me,
Right.
he didn't like about me anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he liked that I was fit. But then, he would be like, I bet you had your arms out today.
Yeah.
Like, did you want me to leave them at home?
Yeah.
I can't take them off.
Oh my God.
It was just
Been
very
there
peculiar.
too.
Right. But in competition, I don't think I've ever felt that. But a level of like borderline jealousy or just,
Yeah, but it is jealousy because it's a fear of losing you.
yeah.
So he had the fear of like, okay, someone else is gonna capture her attention because she's got those arms out. She needs to wear a snowsuit, even though it's 94 degrees. Why don't you have on a turtleneck?
Right. Why don't you have on burlap?
Yeah,
Right.
I've had that before too. Like you met me with makeup, but you have on makeup now. I get paid to wear makeup sometimes, so I love it. Can
I use it? Can I wear it?
Yeah, so I definitely
Yeah.
have had that where he would try to wipe it off with his thumb. I'm like, I'm not 10, so that never.
That's a boundary, though.
Yeah. You
Ah.
don't
It's
touch
physical,
somebody's
like,
makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Man, it's just certain stuff. You keep your purse to yourself, your makeup to yourself. I don't want to touch none of that. I don't
Yeah.
want to be involved with it.
Yeah.
I don't even know the last time you had it. I don't know.
What were you going to say before that, though? You had a thought. I saw
I think that there is a part, though, where you can compete, and it's healthy competition. Like I have one of my frat brothers who's actually married to one of your sorors, and they are running a marathon, and they want to, have bragging rights. And even
That's a
though
little different.
he's a little bit better of an athlete than she is. She's a pretty decent one, but their times are very similar.
Oh wow.
So
she's more than decent. I
yeah,
would think.
he's somewhat of a super athlete, but
And if their times are similar.
yeah, and she's
still
a
game.
very, very good athlete.
Okay.
But he is better. But anyway, I digress. They compete on stuff like that.
Okay.
And then they compete like, hey.
But it's to motivate each other.
Yeah, it's to
Right.
motivate each
Right.
other. It's
Yeah.
from a place of positivity.
It's not a place
It's-
of like I'm gonna lose
Yeah.
her if she wins I'm gonna be hating and I'm not going to acknowledge
Right.
her win.
Mhm.
So okay.
Or be happy for her or him. Yeah. I met a girl golfing, and she was dating a guy who taught her how to golf. He taught her how. And she was a quick study. And she became really good really fast. And she was really long. And so
Did he accuse her of being a
She
ringer?
was long.
she can hit long.
Okay.
She had a,
She could drive the ball.
she could drive the ball.
I knew that. I was just testing.
Go ahead.
You passed.
She beat him one day,
Mm-hmm.
and he ended the relationship.
Girl, stop.
I kid you not. When she told me that, that was my reaction. She told me this on the golf course. I was like, "What?" Right. So
He did her a favor though.
he ended the relationship, and shortly there, like after maybe like a couple of weeks, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. So the person who she was closest to,
She couldn't tell.
she just was like, it was just really, really hard. But people are really competitive, and he simply could not handle it. She used to golf with him, his friends, and my boyfriend always says it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You know what I mean? And so when she got good and she beat him, he could not. His ego, his pride, could not handle it, and he left her. Yeah.
Ideally, it would have been nice for him to have been around when she was going through what she was going through, but he was never really there. Because if you can do that,
Right.
Over-
Over a game,
over
a
a
golf
game?
game?
Over a golf game.
then you don't try to get better. You don't try to do. You see her getting better. You don't do anything.
And
It's-
did they never talked again after that?
No, he ended it.
it ain't no point in talking to somebody after that. We
I
good.
agree.
And I don't think he ended it in person. I think it was like
Oh,
via
this
like
is
a
getting
text
worse
or
and
some
worse.
ridiculousness. But yeah.
It's getting worse and worse.
But yeah.
I'm crying in my fluffy pajamas because you beat me.
Jealousy is it can just ruin things in a relationship. I think that if you're a jealous person, you really don't have a lot of peace because your mind is always wandering. You're always worried, just like the Google definition said. You're constantly thinking about what you're going to lose, what's going to be taken from
That's
you,
right.
instead of being in the moment and enjoying what you have.
That's right.
You miss out on a lot of living.
I definitely agree. I definitely think that it's draining, and I think that to be in that space, you end up staying there, because things happen to us all the time, and we process it and we move on. But I think that a jealous person stays in that space. They don't allow themselves to move on. They block their own blessings by staying in that space.
And wouldn't you agree that at this age, at this point in our lives, our inner voices, like I always say, I'm too old not to listen to my inner voice. Because your inner voice has been talking to you your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you were a child, like you better not cross that street. You better get in the house because the street light's on. Your inner voice has been
That
talking
ain't your
to
baby.
Right. Okay. That's a whole nother conversation. But I think that we need to listen to
himself.
right. We need to listen to our inner voices as far as when we're choosing friends, when we're choosing lovers, when we're choosing mates. Because people tell you who they are, really, they do, early on. And I can almost pick up on a person's jealous energy or negative energy pretty early.
Yeah.
And sometimes before I was like, oh, I'm rocking with it. Let me just see. And it always my inner voice or that gut instinct or whatever it is you choose to call it is always right.
So I want to say one thing real quick before I forget. I disagree somewhat in regard to, like a jealous person is just going to be a jealous person. They're just going to be that way. I do feel like it's a choice. I feel like you can just be that person and, be in a sunken place for, a lifetime or in that relationship. But I also feel like people can make a decision not to be that way. Like not to just be this worry wart and just stop it. It's a choice. It's like a choice it's a behavior is what it is. And so that's one thing that I feel like I've met people that will say, I used to be a very jealous person. And they aren't anymore. For whatever reason, they've done the work.
Because they recognize.
They've done the work.
Right.
So that's one thing. The other thing I like to say is when you said, you recognize things in people early on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my mom would always say, within 30 days, a person is going to show you who they are. If they're crazy, you're going to know. They're going to do something within that 30-day period to let you know that they are insane, if they're jealous or whatever it is. Now, you can ignore it if you like because, whatever
and sometimes
reason.
we do.
But they will have shown you who they are.
That's right.
But there is another scenario here. Sometimes you are in a friendship and or a relationship with someone who is purposely doing things to make you jealous. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they aren't making life just, normal and natural, and you're the one who's just like, out of your mind, hysterical, or can't think, I'm worried about everything. No, they're doing things to make you jealous.
Yeah. I've had that too.
Always talking about an ex, always saying something in comparison, just things to make you feel
Less
than. And that exists too. So you do have to realize that, I don't know if I want to call it gaslighting or something in that vein, but
Baiting.
they're doing something.
They're
baiting you. They're,
Playing on your insecurities.
or creating them that didn't even exist, but because maybe that's their own insecurity.
Right.
Misery loves company.
I agree with you. I also think that there is a part of jealousy that's normal.
Yeah.
It's a normal I see what you're doing, and I mean, it's how you process that. I think that if I see you doing something really, really good, and I say, man, I wish that were me, you know what? I'm going to get my stuff together. I'm going to find out what Kim did. I'm going to find out what Janae did.
I'm going to ask them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
But I'm saying that there, I want what you have, but I'm willing to put the work in. I'm not just saying, well,
Right.
I hate you for having it. No, how did you get it, or how can I work harder? What can I do
Right.
differently or better?
Right.
So I think that there's a part of jealousy that's,
That
is okay.
It's
Yeah.
motivating.
Yeah.
It's a normal human emotion. That's why I said we've all experienced it. We've all felt it. I just think that envy is when, it becomes
Yeah.
kind of dangerous. When you start looking over the fence into envy. And some people, but you're right, some people do play little mind games to make you feel jealous and to make you stressed and to make your central nervous system go haywire. And that isn't good either. That's just leading into a whole different topic, but that is very true.
So I knew a lady who met a guy who wasn't even from Chicago. He moved here. She helped him move in, and upon moving in together, they came across a box of videos. And so he picked up the video and was like, and he put it back down. And so a normal person's going to be like, what's so funny? What was that? Because we're unpacking. He was like, you wouldn't want to know what that is.
Oh, he did it in front of her.
Yeah, she
Okay.
was helping. She was
Yeah.
at his new place helping her unpack. And so, she was like, what is it? He was like, oh, you wouldn't want to see that. He was like, oh, it's just me and my ex-girlfriend. And, he was like, we had a really good time. And, she's, beautiful woman. And, this, and so now she's super curious. And so he was like, you want to watch it?
Wow.
And so they put the videotape in. Now, mind you, once you see things, you can't unsee
You
them.
cannot ever unsee
But he
it.
did it on purpose. He did it at the onset of them with this budding relationship, so that she would always have this vision in her mind. And she was always competing with really a ghost.
I was just going to say a ghost.
So that was so that he can get his best, most highest use out of her.
Right.
Out of that relationship. And he did. But you have to recognize game. And
Wow.
that was game.
Because if she did that to him, he would have been out of there.
He'd have been out of there. But you're right. Men can do things that women can't do.
That's right. It's terrible.
It was terrible.
And some guys will try to, and this subject, this and we're getting off topic, but it's called
But he created jealousy. That's what I'm saying.
triangulation. Some men will create a sense of, okay, yeah, now you have to compete with so and so because
They want me.
Yeah, exactly. And really, the woman may not even be thinking about this man, may not even be giving him a second thought.
Don't even like you.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
life is ultimately fair because I've seen a lot of people that they have that opportunity to really put something out there and drive a woman to do something.
Let me hear it. Just life is ultimately fair.
Yeah, I've been around very few situations that things didn't go full circle, where somebody was on top and they used their position on top to hold somebody else down, and that person didn't get a chance to get their lick back. I've never seen. I'm not going to say never, but it's rare that I don't see a person have a chance to get their lick back.
It's rare that you.
And you said
never,
that's fair?
Yeah, that's.
I think that that's fair because if you treat a person fairly, you're going to get back what you put out there. When you treat a person bad, you're going to get that bad back. So it becomes fair at a point. It's not fair when I'm doing it to you, but it's definitely fair when you're giving it back to me.
Okay. I'm not gonna try and dissect that.
I know. That's what I'm like. Okay.
I'll just leave that one
You
alone.
get what you pay for in this life.
Okay.
I mean, you get away from the scene, but you rarely get away with the crime.
So
Garyisms 101.
yeah, we all have stories about jealousy in relationships. What would you do if you recognized it in this juncture? Like it didn't manifest itself maybe in the beginning, but somewhere along the line some things have changed. Maybe you got like some big promotion. Because, you know, when the environment change and the variables change, people can also change, which is how people grow apart. What would you do if you started to recognize that? How would you diffuse it? How would you handle it?
Distance. I would probably, if it depends
It's
on
your person we're talking about.
Oh, not a girlfriend.
No, we're talking about your person.
Okay. Then we would have to have a conversation. I'm very communicative, and I even teach my children it's better to over communicate if you have to. So I'm very communicative, and I would want to talk about it. I would want to say, listen, this is joyful. This is a joyful occasion in my life, and I just sense that you're not as happy for me. And is there a reason why? Are you? I would want to talk about it.
I would probably not pose the question of that, because that, I feel like the scenario that I just gave you is a reaction to the real problem. So I would probably just ask questions like, you know, how are you feeling about us? Because the root of the problem is they are feeling a way about you and your promotion.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
I wouldn't be like, yeah, you're not joyful. You're not, you know. I would probably be more like, you know,
right,
just a little bit more under the surface, like get down deeper to it,
right,
instead of talking about that thing. Because when you just talk about the thing that the scab, it just bleeds.
Yeah.
My approach is going to be a little different.
But you asked me, so
yeah, I did.
Yeah, but go ahead.
But then I said I would just do it different. But I got you.
You want to finish, you know? No, but I'm going to try to get buy-in. I'm going to, you know, I mean, I'm going to acknowledge what happened. You know, hey, man, I'm really happy about this promotion, but, you know, you're a big part of this, and I want to know what it is that, you know, that has to happen for you so that, you know, we're both happy in this. I don't want to just win by myself. You know, you've been with me when I wasn't winning. Now that I am, we have to win. And I'm going to try to get buy-in from that person like that.
You're going to make them feel worse.
So, no, the reason, and let me finish, because you interrupted me to tell me how you would handle it. No, I just want to say, I would say, I feel like you're not as joyful for me as I think that, hey, IG, I feel like you're not as joyful as as I would want you to be. And I would ask, is there a reason? Because really, I think a lot of people are dealing with a lot of childhood trauma, and I know that the conversation will innately go deeper. I think it would get deeper, because some people do fear, because you're talking about promotion, right?
Yeah.
Because some people, since I am a woman dating men, or interested in men, I think my significant other would be a man. And some men feel like, okay, she's climbing the ladder. Am I going to lose her? So like you said, I would want to go deeper into, like, what's going on? Why are you kind of stoic about what's happening to me? Like, I've created this whole imaginary boyfriend, and he's stoic now. You didn't even say anything about it. But he's my imaginary. My flat Stanley is stoic. But go ahead.
No, I mean, like I said, I would just try to get buy-in from her to,
Yeah.
you know, the vision of us. What are we doing? And, you know, while this is great for me, it's not as great as it could be if it's not for us. And if you having any reservations or anything that we need to talk about, let's have that conversation.
Right.
Let's do that. But let's do it here, you know, not 3 months from now when you're arguing with me about leaving the toilet seat up, which I do.
Right. Which you always say you do.
I know, right? So I believe that he does,
I do
because that's
believe you
always
do.
where he goes back to. But in that same vein, if it were a girlfriend, you know, as like a regular, like a friendship with a woman, it would be distance. Because that's what I thought you were talking about initially.
Yeah.
It would be distance. I want to talk about it with her too. But I have had in my decades of being an adult, I've had friendships that I thought were friendships with women who turned out to be jealous frenemies type of women.
Hurtful.
And I can say at almost 58 years old, I finally am comfortable with my tight circle and feeling like I don't have anybody in my circle who's not in my corner.
Yeah,
At
you said
58,
that.
yeah, I have said that, and I mean that, because I've definitely experienced some BS type of shady, slick shit type of comments from people. I'm just joking, girl. You know, it's always a little shade behind a
Nobody know
joke.
that. I'm just saying what they saying.
Exactly. So,
Like, you know what? I don't like the digs when people, you may say something funny. You're a funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like it when people say stuff like, you may crack a joke and then someone will say, you stupid.
yeah,
Being funny is not stupid.
right,
Like, there's nothing stupid about what was said.
right.
But that is also a way to just insult you wrapped around.
You know,
Let's
and
make
words,
it
and words
let's
have
make
power.
it synonymous to you're funny or
I was chatting with a fellow tennis mom in DMs and Instagram, and she sent me something. I was like, girl, you are crazy. And she was like, is it crazy that she was offended
yeah.
by it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean it like
Not
that.
like crazy.
Yeah, I didn't mean like you're out here licking the walls. I didn't mean it like that. And so I had to explain that that's not what I meant. And I thought that was a common term for like, oh my gosh, that's so, you know, but
You're like, I was trying to say you're hilarious.
yeah, but I should have just said hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, I love you. I would never say anything.
But some
Like
people
that.
are overly sensitive, or they're dealing
That's
with
true.
But again,
or
that's
processing-
your point. The
That's
trauma
right.
that people
Right.
have
That's true.
And or
So I
processing.
had to since she told me that's like, she let me know that was a trigger word for her. I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't mean it like that. So since she let me know and she didn't just stew with it, I was like, I had to just say, I'm sorry.
But and the part I'm getting at is that you all dealt with it at problem stage and not
Right.
crisis stage.
Right.
And, you know, I've had people, you know, that we talked after years and something I didn't even mean that way or, you know, intend to be that way. And they were like, you know, I drew a line in the sand. And I'm like, whatever, you know, my fault. I'm sorry, I guess.
Just say, don't even say I'm sorry. Just say sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
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 And then do this.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, the patronizing one. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Right.
No, I mean, you know, it's a thin line between saying someone is overly sensitive and sensitive. And in this case, with the girl who said crazy,
It probably
listen,
was a trigger.
It was definitely.
but
a
I mean, the
trigger.
words don't mean the same thing. But in playfulness, they're interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that sometimes people are literal, and the word that you say is the word that they define.
Yes,
They're literal people?
There are literal
Literal
people.
I would
Lucy.
never. I mean,
All
where
over the
are these
world.
literal
I
people
don't know
that-
where they could be.
Kim, do you
All
know any
these-
literal
I don't
people?
know any literal.
I don't know not one literal person.
Harumph.
Well, let me introduce you to a couple. me and me. Anyway, but yeah, so you apologize and you were able to move on.
Oh, absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with
Well, and
apologizing.
now I know if I'm laughing, you're hilarious, girl. That is hilarious. Crazy? No. Mm-mm.
And I mean, I have some people that have some documented trauma, and I mean, I will overspeak sometimes. Let me put it that way. And this one person has had to, you know, kind of reel me back in a little bit and say, hey, you know, that was too far. But I like that. Again, it was something that was communicated to me.
Right.
Because I mean, I promise you, I am using all my psychic powers for the lottery.
Okay.
Communication is everything now. So
Oh my God.
it's
If
good that
you don't tell me, I'm not gonna know.
right.
You know, you can't intimate, you can't pantomime, you can't do anything. Say it. You know what? And in a pinch, write it down.
You want to say something else about jealous people. I think jealous people also look for a moment, an opportunity to like let loose on you. And you just wonder, what the hell
Ooh,
did
yeah,
this come
that's
from?
true.
You know, like, what just happened here?
Yeah.
But it's all this stuff that they have inside of them. So when you give them a moment, something happens, it's like striking a match.
You mean in friendships?
Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It might
with
even
that.
be in relationships too, but definitely in friendships.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Like, this is some built up. We're not even arguing about what
Yeah.
you're saying we're arguing about. We're arguing
Right.
about something else that,
Right.
yeah, hasn't been communicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. You guys, definitely, like, leave us a comment. Let us know, have you had any experiences like this? Because I find them very hurtful. You?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
The times that I dealt with that stuff, yeah. I could really go on and on, but I won't.
Gary just is going to categorize people where they need to be once he figures it out.
Right, and I don't pay attention to them and their little feelings, you know. I don't.
They little feelings. Sorry, I hurt your little feelings.
Get
Sorry you
yourself
feel that
together.
way.
Your
Don't
little
cry
feelings.
on my shirt. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, no, let's talk when you feel better.
Your little feelings better.
So why don't you join us back on another little Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. next week. Oh, wait a minute.
What?
I don't know if I'll be. Will
I don't think so.
I don't think I'm in town next week.
I don't think so.
We'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know.
It
For
might be a
sure.
Thursday.
It might be another day.
It might be another day.
Yes.
But
But
we will
want
let you know.
there, and we want you there.
So we'll let you know so that you can be there.
And we will also keep you posted on our next in-person event.
Which will be early part of September.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay?
You guys are taking your kids back to college, and we know like August is just crazy bananas for you people. So we are being very considerate, and we will see you in September in person.
Let's do it.
Because we had a good old time
Oh my
last
God.
month.
It was great.
It really was.
Oh, it really was. If you missed it, you missed it.
But we're going to do it again.
There'll
So,
be more.
yeah. All right, guys, we're going to sign off. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, you're on the end.
Bye-bye.
You can end it.
I'll just sit here. You look pretty.
Okay, you got that one. Okay.
Okay.